you let me love you forever, forever? I wanna love you. Will you let me love you forever, forever and a day, 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 day.
Happy Friday! Hey guys, welcome to Melanated Way. I'm Linda Antwi, and that over there is Abby the attorney. We are covering Match Me Abroad, and I'm so glad that we're doing this season because it's so good. You guys, season 2, we're on episode 9, so we're completely, like, this will make us caught up, and we've been caught up, and I kind of hate it because there are so many questions. I have questions, Abby. I was telling Abby in the green room. So if you guys watched our show last week, I really want to get my ear pierced, but I'm scared of my African mom. So I got a fake one, you guys, right here. Look how good that looks.
It
You
looks
see how
so good. Everybody
Right?
agree. It looks so good, and it's time to get it permanent.
Right. So I'm trying to do this, you guys, but I'm also scared of Mama Linda. I know I'm grown, but if you're African, you know what I'm talking about. No piercing and no tattoos. That being said, shout out to our live chat. There's a lot of day ones in there. Vanessa, Becca, Raydella. We love you guys so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So yeah, episode 9, Flaming the Fans. What were your overall thoughts, Abby?
I'm just really into this season. Okay. So I'm into the people. They seem real. And I was just really excited we didn't have to deal with one person on this episode. There was one person missing that I was glad was missing.
Same. Hey, Becca. Thank you. Yeah, I love it. I really do really want to get it really, truly pierced.
Hey, Blue Panda. Welcome, welcome.
So we're going to jump right in. Harold and Amber. You know what? I'm really glad that we have a second season of Harold because I am falling more I love Harold. I love him. I love him. I'm starting to get to really realize what his personality is about. Learning a little bit more about being on the spectrum and all of that. And one of the things that's so relatable, you guys, to me at least, is that he takes everything very literally and he overthinks things. And as a person that overthinks, right here, relatable. So that being said, Harold and Amber, they're going on, like, I think it's like date 3, date 4. And one of the things that was a lot is Amber presents as very conservative, but she's asking all the questions that I think are important to ask because she's really looking for a long-term relationship. However, they got a little I get cringe when there are gross questions. And so they are having mocktails, frozen mocktails, hummus and chickpeas. Harold didn't know what it was, so she was explaining it to him. And then she explains how, I guess milk doesn't agree with her. And so she used to get diarrhea when she had milk. And then Harold relates that to farts. And it was a whole conversation they were having. I was like, oh.
You were like, why is this happening?
You here already?
I thought it was funny how Harold was ready to laugh, but then he was like, oh no, you didn't end it with a fart joke. You ended it with poop.
Yeah, it was a lot for me. It was a lot, but at least we're bonding, right? So he thinks Amber is really complex, which she is, right? She is, because she, like I said, she presents very conservative, but she's really just trying to figure out if this is something that she wants to pursue long term. And so she starts asking the questions, which you guys, by date 3 and 4, you should absolutely be having these conversations. And I want one of the old school people, or I want Abby. What are the 4 things? And we've added something Abby added. So what are the 5 things that we talk about that you need to discuss before you get in a serious relationship or you get married? What are those 5 things?
Do you want to wait? You want to wait and see if somebody will say it, and we'll come back to it if we see somebody say it? Okay.
I'll give you guys a few minutes. You guys should know this by now because you guys have been here for years. But one of the questions that Amber asks Harold is, what is the wildest thing that you've ever done? And so we really do learn a little bit about Harold and his little freaky deaky self. He took a day off of college and with his girlfriend had a fling in the car in broad daylight. And then I was like, oh, and Amber answered, oh, I want to try that. I was like, go ahead, Amber. Go ahead, Amber. Amber's showing him bit by bit that she's interested.
This caught me off guard because when she asked the question, I didn't assume that she was talking about sex.
Oh, what did you think?
I did. I was like, oh, okay. Like in my mind, I'm answering the question. And I go, oh, the trip to Antarctica. That was pretty like, a wild thing that I did, or a zip line in Costa Rica. And then so when he answered the question, I was like, oh, is that what they're talking about?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Becca, good job. Yes. Sex. Do you like sex? How often do you think we should have sex in a relationship? Is it important to you? What are the things that you enjoy? Kids, do you want kids? Do you not want to have kids? Religion, do you believe in God? Do you not believe in God? If we have kids, how are we going to raise our kids? Money, how do you save money? How do you spend money? How important is money in your relationship? And if the bonus is the fifth one that Abby added. Abby, do you even remember what you added?
I don't remember. What did I add?
Anyone remember what Abby added? I'll give you guys a minute.
All right.
So they talk about that. And she explains how sex is important in relationships, which is what I just said. So she's reading the Linda manual. The second question she asks is, where is the most exotic place that you've had sex? And go ahead, Harold. Harold's like in a movie theater. And then she said in a public toilet. And he took it as an outhouse, but I took it as in like a public toilet. That could be at a restaurant, could be at a bar or whatever. And so when he was like, ooh, that could get messy, I was like, ooh, Harold, that's gross.
Yeah, porta potty is disgusting. I mean, it's kind of disgusting anyway, but a porta potty is extra disgusting. And that's what I think he was visualizing.
He was. And he's dead wrong for that.
But in my mind, any toilet outside of my own home is a public toilet. Like outside of somebody, and I don't think that's what he was thinking.
No, he wasn't. He was thinking a porta toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then he asked like the next question: do you instigate? Does the man instigate? Like, what does that look like? And she's like, it depends on the situation, which was absolutely true. And she talks about how most Singaporeans, they only have sex to procreate, but she enjoys sex. And we find out with her one-on-one that she's okay with having premarital sex, even though most Singaporeans only have sex after they've gotten married. So he tells her he enjoys the process. I thought that was a huge bonding moment for them. What did you think, Abby?
I thought so too. And maybe later on and off camera, they can get even more specific. I told you guys before, I think that you should ask somebody to send you, if they watch corn, send me your favorite corn so I could see what you're into and if we're going to be compatible in that way.
That's fun. So why did you say you didn't remember?
Because you had sex on the list. So I was like, I don't know. What did I add? Okay. So that's what I added. I'm saying it again. So obviously I care about it. But the little things that you...
Fun, everyone, by the way, if you didn't look at the first one, Abby added, if you are a person that watches a lot of corn, then it's important for your partner to know that. And the type of corn that you watch. Yes. That's going to be very important.
It says so much about you and what you're willing to do to appease your partner, and whether or not you even think about a partner, or if it's a selfish situation. Um, and the only reason I think it's important is because I've grown up around a lot of women who unfortunately are in situations where they have a hard time being able to enjoy the act. They have a hard time even being able to talk about it and live out what makes them excited. And I just think that if you have 3 or 4 children, you've never had an opportunity to, that's sad.
There you go. So everyone, that was the 5th one. Hey, 1,000 Pieces. Hey. One of the things that I learned in this episode 9, was that there's a lot of disconnect, and I'm guilty of it as well. And I wonder how many times in my life I've been guilty of it. So we learned in a couple episodes back that Harold was really like worried that when they had their kiss, and she meant to kiss him on the cheek, and then they kissed lips, and then he thought that was going to be terrible and that she was going to pull away and it was going to be over. We found out that she was pleasantly surprised by the kiss. She actually liked it, and she thought he was being a little like cheeky with it. I don't necessarily think that he did it on purpose. I think that the timing just made it like that's what was going to happen. But it's funny how the 2 different people saw the same situation completely different.
Yep.
So she went in to kiss him on the cheek. He turned in and they ended up kissing on the lips. He freaks out, thinks that she's going to walk away, and then she secretly loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Sydney. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey.
So I think that's important to realize, because I think that there are a lot of, and we'll see this more in this episode, where there's a lot of misconnect, where you think something is happening but it's not. And I'm not sure how to rectify that, Abby, because as people, we come in with our own stuff and our own beliefs and our own things. And it's just interesting to me how you could really miss out on something that's amazing because you have these preconceived notions of whatever you think it is. Hey, Dr. Megan.
So the good thing for them is that if they are still dating each other, they can actually look at themselves on film and talk about these things, right? For us regular people who are not on TV, the only thing we can do is say, hey, I feel X, Y, and Z when B happened. How did you feel when B happened? And hope for someone who's able to communicate with you that way.
Communication is key. So she mentions the autism again, because that's something that she's been thinking about, and what that will look like if they have children. And I felt Harold answered this really well. He's like, we get special tutors. I can teach them. We can have multiple kids, up to 6 kids, and 1 in 6 will be autistic, and we'll be okay with that. I was like, oh, that's a lot. That's a lot going on there. But I like how he did try to answer her question and try to appease her concerns. I thought that was great. So they wrap up their date, and was so cute. They're walking away and holding hands as they were walking away, and that was really special. The next day, he meets up with Dolly, who is his matchmaker, and Dolly's fire, you guys. All the matchmakers, they have exactly who they need, and I'm just so impressed with them right now. I personally feel like I might need to sign up, because I don't even know, but they're doing a great job. So they meet at the pier, and one of the things that I always tell you guys that I really enjoy about Match Me Abroad is looking at other cultures, and I really feel like they need to dive into that more and really like lean into showing the world what other people don't see, especially Americans who don't get to travel very often for whatever reason. Show them what they're missing, so that they may be inspired to like take a trip. And so when they were on the water side and they did the photo, Abby, where they're like, open your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the lion head and the body of the fish. And Dolly explained to him how that used to be a fishing area all. I was like, this is what we want to know.
Yes, that's very cool.
Right? And the water your mouth in the photo, the luckily you are in life. All of
Mhm.
those things. Tell me those things so that if I end up going there, I'll be like, oh my God, I totally remember. I watched this on Match Me Abroad. Let me take that same photo and put it on Instagram.
Yep, this has more effort in it than 90 Day does, in my opinion, in showing countries and cultures.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So then they're talking back and forth, and Dolly's really trying to guide him. And then Harold says that he wants to propose. Harold, what?
Okay, I understood why he said it, and I'm excited to see how Dolly talks him out of it. In his mind, if he doesn't leave with some kind of status with Amber, then they are not going to be able to continue their relationship. So I understand why he said it.
So here's what happens. Dolly explains to it. She's like, oh. Oh. Dolly explains to him that Amber's sensing that he's a little impatient. And in Singaporean culture, you can't decide if you want a life partner in a few days. And Amber's a little worried that that's a sign of immaturity, because then that means that if she, connects with him, they get married, then everything's going to fall on her because she's the mature one that makes the decisions, all of that. And I thought that was a completely valid point. And so Dolly wants Harold to slow down, enjoy the process, enjoy getting to know each other. You guys already know that you guys connect. So just be a little patient. And Harold, because he's an overthinker as well, he wants to leave Singapore with a love. Because the last time he did this, he didn't solidify his relationship, and the distance killed that relationship. So he's worried that's the same thing that's going to happen in this relationship. If he doesn't put a ring on it and say, hey, you're mine, I'm yours, then he's afraid that Amber is going to leave him. And so I get that. However, right, it's a lot. You're still on vacay, you're still on holiday, and you've met this person. Harold, I get that you guys connected, but you're going to have to connect another 2-3 times before you can commit to something, because that's just reality. She has to come visit you. You have to go back there a few times and see if that same like va-va-va-voom,
Right.
is still there.
Right.
And so I get that you want to solidify with a label so that your relationship in your mind will survive the distance, but you can also break this relationship by saying, hey, like, let's get married. And the preview for next week where he's like, we're going to the airport, I was like, oh, no, you're not. Oh, no, you're not.
And the good thing about this situation, unlike some people that we meet on 90 Day, the pressure is always on one person to always travel the one direction to the person who would be immigrating to the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Singaporeans can travel to the U.S. without a B2, B1 visitor's visa. They have the privilege of visa waiver program. I was trying to remember if Amber is actually Singaporean nationality-wise, because I think
Chinese.
that so I don't think she's Chinese, but I don't think she told us whether or not she was a citizen of Singapore. So depending on which passport she holds, if she holds a Singaporean passport, she'll be able to travel to the U.S.
Awesome. So not only does he want to propose to her, he wants to ask her the next time that he sees her to visit him in the U.S. to meet his family. And Dolly was like, no. That's it. That's all. Do you want to add anything before we move on to Sarah?
No, let's go. I'm ready for Sarah and EJ, BJ. Let's go.
So Sarah, 36, I'm not going to say a lot more on that, but I listen. It all culminated. That's not the word.
Culminated?
Yeah,
Accumulated.
accumulated. It all accumulated into the perfect storm because she was talking so much trash about Dolly, and by the end of this, she saw the light. Oh! Okay, so she said her date with Sean. Remember the guy who showed up in the vintage Rolls Royce with the 99 flowers and the body count, all that stuff. She said that that date was horrific. And she told Dolly all the things that he talked about. And Dolly was like, okay, well, I'll talk to him. And meanwhile, Sarah's super still annoyed with Dolly because she doesn't think that Dolly's taking her time in Singapore seriously. And she is feeling like she's been on all these dates and nothing has panned out and all the things. So she's irritated. But meanwhile, she is going to go on a date with EJ and they're going to go work out. So she has to be like more casual than she's normally going to be, right? Because she's full glam 24/7 and even going to the gym. And I've talked about this, right? I've talked about how I don't meet people in the gym because, like, I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing all of that. Are you crazy? So they're gonna go work out. EJ is Portuguese, and this is what I love about abroad as well, you guys, because you could be so many things, right? And it's just fantastic. So he's Portuguese, Malaysian, and Indian, but he's Singaporean. So race and ethnicity are different, and I really wish Americans could understand that a lot more, right? Race, ethnicity, different. Portuguese, Malaysian, Indian, but Singaporean, all of those things can be true. He's a business owner. He owns like a couple of gyms. He's a bodybuilder. He loves spoiling women. And so Dolly thinks that he'd be a great match for Sarah. They meet up, and Sarah instantly thinks that he's cute. She likes the muscle, she likes the tattoos, all the stuff. EJ's first impression wasn't so great, right?
It wasn't.
Which I think is important, right? Because she thinks she is giving off a specific vibe, but it's all how people see you, right? You can see yourself one way, but people might see you a different way. And he literally said, wow. And not to be mean, his words, but she looks bimbo-ish, and maybe I have to get to know her more, which was telling because we'll see later in the episode he did need to get to know her more. But what were your thoughts on that, Abby? Because she thinks, because we go back to episode 2 or 3 where we met her, where you and I talked about how, like, I just think it's too much. I do think it's too much. She's like borderline. But she did say how she did the work and how she loves herself and she's not going to change and all the things. And you and I had that discussion. However, she's not willing to compromise at all. So have your thoughts changed at all, Abby?
So my thoughts on her appearance haven't changed. Like, she should find someone who accepts her appearance as it is, because that's the appearance she wants to keep. My concern would be, have you ever dated someone that you weren't initially attracted to?
100%.
Okay, so I have too. And my concern would be when you know that you're dating someone who's not your type of attraction, you're not as nice. I'll talk about me, okay? I wasn't as nice as I would have been to that person if I was actually attracted to them. That's just how, look, I don't make the rules. That's just how it happened. So, like, I do know that you can get to know somebody and they can become more attractive to you. But if you have a notion about someone when you meet them that is so big, like, oh, she looks like a bimbo, I don't know if that changes just because you got to know that they are actually a nice person. Mm. Because now you're aware of how they're presenting to other people as well. Mm. So I don't know if that's going to be a successful thing for him to reconcile. I could be very wrong. He could be a lot deeper than me. I could be shallow hell.
EJ feels like, you really need to understand your partner, and that's why he wanted to take her to one of his gyms, because it's important for your partner to understand what you do so that they can support you. And live chat, I want to know what your thoughts on that are. And Abby, your thoughts on that as well. Should your partner really understand the ins and out of what you do in your career so that they can support you and make you better, which are EJ's thoughts?
Yeah, I think what I took it as is I'm away from home a lot because I'm working on building this. And he also said later on that he was trying to expand into Indonesia. So I took it as this is what I do. I'm very busy. I want to make sure that you're okay with that. That's what I read.
Okay, so here's what I think. And I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. And especially for minorities, I think that the world outside is hard. I think that you are battling outside every single day. And I think that your home should be your sanctuary and your partner should be a reflection of that sanctuary. So, where you come home, you should be able to exhale and feel 100% comfortable, feel 100% vulnerable, be able to talk to your partner about all the outside stuff, work, friends, everything that outside includes, so that you can just 100% shed it and your partner can pour into you, support you, love you, nourish you, and build you up. Because guess what? In just a few hours, you're going to have to do it all over again. So I read it as he wants to make sure his partner completely understands, yes, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business owner, I want to expand all of these things. I want you to really understand what my day to day is so that, A, you can help me when maybe I'm doing something wrong or you see something that I don't see, another pair of eyes on it. And most importantly, when I come home and I'm exhausted, you know exactly what I've been doing all day. And you can pour into me, I can pour into you. We can nourish each other so that tomorrow we can get up and do the same thing again. So I appreciated what he said, and that's how I took it.
Yeah.
So they're gonna do Muay Thai, and she's not into it. And she's like, if the date doesn't go better than this, then she's gonna want a new matchmaker. And she doesn't like doing this because she feels like it makes her look silly and it's out of her comfort zone. And she likes to chill and have drinks and wine. And she's worried about how she looks to EJ while doing this Muay Thai, right? And this is how I know that I don't believe that you actually really did the work, Sarah. Because if you did the work, like you told us in episode 2 or 3, that you're comfortable with who you are, and you love all the things, and then you wouldn't care if you look silly. You wouldn't care that you had to dress down. You wouldn't care that you're not sipping mimosas and having caviar and French kisses. You would be enjoying the moment because you couldn't allow yourself to enjoy the moment because you're too worried about your hair and your tatas and how you look, all the stuff. Then, like, that's not genuine to me. And that tells me that you haven't really done the work. It might not be something that you do all the time, but guess what? You're in Singapore. You're being trained by a trainer that you may never see again in your life. Enjoy the moment, enjoy the experience, because not everyone gets to have that experience.
Yeah. She did seem to be very uncomfortable in her own body during this experience.
Yeah. Terrible. So anyways, they have that moment. They're going to extend the date and he's going to change. He bought her flowers, which I actually love. So this is the second time that she got flowers out of 3 dates. and that's right up her alley.
Mm-hmm.
And they sit down, they're having some wine. EJ talks about, they both open up to each other, which I thought was really special. But I also want to ask Abby your thoughts on this, and even you guys in the live chat. I want to know your thoughts as well. She wants to know, like, do you want to live anywhere else in your life? And he talks about, eventually he wants to live in Bali, expand to Bali. And she talks about family, and she really talks about her mom and losing her dad and how close she was to her family. He talks about his family and how he's close to his family, but both his parents are deceased, and his dad was never around. So he had to grow up really quickly. He had to be the man of the household, but it really built who he was, built resilience, all of this stuff. So they bonded over sharing, right? She asked him if he's ever been married, and he has been 13 years ago. It did sound like there might have been something still there a little bit, because he said that it was love at first sight. She shares her story because we know that she was engaged and he abruptly left her. So they bonded over that. And it changed how EJ saw her. So, which is really important, you guys. So he talked about face value versus actually getting to know someone. Face value, he wasn't impressed, right? He thought she was this bimbo. But as he got to know her, he realized that she was deeper than that, and that she was caring and loving and family, and all of those things were important to her. And he's happy that he met her. What was this good for Sarah? Sarah realized, oh, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't be just checking off boxes right away and immediately deciding if this person meets all my criteria, and maybe I should be looking for a connection.
Mm-hmm.
And literally said, maybe Dolly does know what she's doing. And I laughed because it took her 3 dates to figure out that Dolly actually does know what she's doing. Do you want to add to that?
Yeah, no. I do have a question for you though.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think it was odd, when he says, I want to expand into Bali, that she doesn't mention, well, I always want to be near my mom, or anything that would resolve what be a rising conflict if they continue seeing each other, of his clear disinterest in leaving that side of the globe?
Yeah, I think that that's something that they're definitely going to talk about, because she not only said, like, I'm right down the street from my mom, but I actually brought my mom on the trip, and his face was like, oh, right. So all of that, yeah, I think it was a missed opportunity, but I think that they're going to have to address it, right? And I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it. Not everyone wants to live in America, you guys. Not everyone wants to live in America. And so for her to think that, hey, I'm from Texas and I'm going to find my crazy rich Asian and they're going to move to America, that might not be the case. And are you willing to move to Bali? Are you willing to move to Singapore? And are you willing to move away from your mom? Because those are some things that you're going to need to consider.
Yep.
Amber, love Amber. Amber's great TV. Katarina's great TV. Katarina should be my matchmaker because I really feel like she does a great job. So she's at the bar. She's going to meet up with Victoria. They became friends. One of the things they didn't show us behind the scenes is that when they landed, they were in the same car service. And so they bonded over that. And then they became friends, which I love everything about it. So they're at their bar meeting and catching up on like all the dates that they were having. Amber goes in to get Guinness. And one of the things that I actually didn't know, but I did tell you, Abby, is that Irish Guinness is like so different than what you guys have tried before.
You did tell me it was so different.
So different. But what I didn't know is that when they pour it, you're supposed to let it sit, which I feel like I knew that, but you're supposed to let it sit. You're not supposed to like just move it right away. You're supposed to let it sit, the foam on the top is supposed to like settle, kind of like not like a gel, but it's supposed to settle before you drink it, and it's even smoother. But she had to bring one out to Victoria. And one of the things that Katerina talks about is that it's great that they became friends because they're both abroad for the first time. They both can support each other. They're both on this, international dating journey together. And I 100% agree. And so Victoria tells Amber a little bit about Darren and how they've been texting every day and they really have a connection. And she's actually invited him to meet with them because Victoria wants to get Amber's opinion on, on Darren. And I thought that was really cute because, you always want your girl's opinion on the person that you're dating. And Amber talks about Kevon and how they haven't really been talking much. But Glenn is in the running and Glenn has been texting her and calling her all day and really wants to like spend time with her. And she's just really annoyed and aggravated, not clear with communication with Kevon. She's disappointed. And then she's confused because he's now also invited her on an overnight. And she's like, you've invited me on an overnight, but you haven't texted or called me in 3 days. Like, I don't even understand. I want someone that communicates with me. I want someone that wants to spend time with me. You already know that I'm on a limited time as it is, and you're nowhere to be found. What are your thoughts on that so far, Abby?
My thoughts are, at that point, you just cut off the relationship. I don't think this early in the relationship, you should have to tell someone, I would like communication with you. I would like regular dialogue with you. If they want to do it, they would have done it. So there's no point. Just let it go. This is like, you have no real investment here. You're not losing anything to just walk away. Move on to Glenn and have Katerina set up another date for you so you have somebody else to compare Glenn to, have a different experience. But Kevon's not it. I do not understand agreeing to the overnight after he's already demonstrated that the communication isn't there. And the communication has to really, really, really be there because at some point they're going to be long distance. Whether she decides to move to Ireland or whether he comes to the US, at some point they're going to be long distance for some period of time. So the communication needs to be there.
Okay, so I thought what you thought originally. Like that's that, and even last week and this week I was like, bump Kevon. Why are we even giving him a second chance? But this goes back to what I was saying about Harold and Amber, the misconnect. Because you see things one way and the other person sees something differently. So after Katerina explained stuff, I was like, oh, this is how you have mislove connection. So hear me out, Abby. So Katerina said, Glenn represents Amber's past and love bombing, and Kevon represents her potential future. Now, one of the things that's different with Glenn is right up Amber's alley, where in dating, and even I'll just say in North America, you want everything to be quick. You're used to swiping left, swiping right, swiping left, and you expect that person to be up on you if they like you, and they should be texting and calling and all of the things. But in Ireland, they move a lot slower, right? And so Kevon was giving her space to do whatever it is that she wanted to do. But when he met with Katerina, he told her that he has very deep feelings for Amber. And Katerina said, well, you need to step up and make your feelings obvious. And she needs to let you know that her feelings are deep as well, or else your relationship is in danger. And I thought that was huge because she likes him. He likes her. And we saw the connection, you guys, from day one, right? But because he moves at a slower pace, he thinks he's doing the right thing. I'm going to give her space. I'm going to let her choose what she wants to do. She wants to see other people. I'm going to let her. But deep down inside, he's longing for her and he has a deep feelings for her. But he's like letting her pick the pace. But meanwhile, she's like, he hasn't texted me. He hasn't called me. He doesn't care about me. He's not communicating with me. Do you see how those are two different ships?
I'm not buying it.
Oh Lord, Abby.
I think that he should keep something on the horizon. Okay, fine. You don't want to bombard her every single day. Well, hey, 3 days from now, can we have lunch? Like, keep something on the horizon. Keep yourself in the running. What do you want to be? What do you want to be, an egalitarian relationship? Or do you want to be a patriarchal relationship where I'm the man and I am in control in some sense? Well, then be in control in some sense.
Oh.
Keep something on the calendar. Send a gift here and there.
But isn't that what he did by inviting her on the overnight now?
But not by being absent in the meantime, in between time. In the meantime, in between time.
Was he really absent? It's only been 3 days.
3 days is a long time in Match Me Abroad. During that time, he could have said, number one, I'm not going to crowd you. I know you're going on dates with other people, but I'm sending something over to the hotel that I think that you will like. A candy that she mentioned on a date, something that they did together, a little plushie. Sleep with this plushie. Think about me, okay? And then 3 days from now, we already have our lunch set, but I'm not going to let you forget about me in these 3 days that are going by.
Okay? And that's fair. That's how I would think, but I'm trying to be more open-minded. I'm trying to be like, okay, what did I miss? Like when Katerina spoke, because I was with you, Abby. I was with you last week. I was like, bump him. Like, why are we even giving him a second chance? But Katerina's opening my mind a little bit because we all see things so differently. Let us know what you guys think in the live chat, you guys. Also, if you're watching the replay, let us know what you think about dating. Should that person be in constant contact with you? Can 2, 3, 4 days, a week go by and they don't contact you? Let us know. Becca says, but how is an overnight taking it slow?
Is what I'm saying. Like, on the other hand, perhaps what happened is what we talked about before. They went to the hotel. They did some adult things. And now he's like, okay, I don't have to put in as much effort, but do you want to go do some more adult things? Because we can do that. I mean, that's the way that I'm kind of reading it.
I mean, I stand 10 toes deep or whatever it is in that you all didn't just kiss. Y'all did more, but you're and now he's missing it. And so he wants to make sure that there's going to be more adult behavior. So let's do an overnight. And so that instead of like me having to leave at 12:02 a.m., we could just, chill. But I could be wrong. I'm trying to be open-minded.
We could be wrong.
Katerina might be my matchmaker, and I want her to see that I'm open-minded.
I don't want you to be open-minded to Kevon behavior. If you go on Match Me Abroad, let me be your phone call, your one phone call to your friend that you're allowed to have, and I will say no. No.
If you guys meet me in real life, I am not open-minded like that. I know exactly what I want, and it hasn't found me yet. I haven't found it yet. But what I'm not about to do is settle at my grown age. Like, I'm just not about to do that. I'm not going to be someone's baby mama because, that was dangled out there. I'm not going to be some side chick because that was dangled out there. I'm not going to be like the circle back girl because you didn't get it right the first or second time. Like, no. So, I mean, I know, but I just also, I'm very, what am I? I'm just not settling, you guys. I'm not settling. I'd rather be like happily single than in some BS. And there's a lot of BS.
That's way better. That's way better.
I watch a lot of true crime, you guys, and a lot of true crime stuff. Like, I'll just say this. It's not women that are killing people. Okay. They're not killing their partners. It's men. And men do a lot of shitty things. And so don't ever settle just because you want to be in a relationship because it could end terribly. that being said, Amber's unclear what she wants to do. She's unclear. She is now also comparing her situation with Kevon as well as Glenn with Darren and Victoria's situation, which I thought was interesting, right? Because she saw them for like 10 minutes. But not Glenn, Darren really showed up and showed out. So I did want to circle back and talk about how when he brought the Guinnesses out and he's like, okay, here are 2 Guinnesses and 1 Irish margarita, because she's like, I'm from Texas, we do margaritas. I thought that was great.
Yes.
And then I like how he was super shocked that Glenn introduced her to his parents on day 1. He's like, what? What?
Darren was good conversation. He kept the pace of the conversation, the back and forth going, good, appropriate jokes, like great timing. He was really good there.
Yeah.
But there was something about this interaction that was bothering me. So both Victoria and Amber have interpreted this tattoo that Darren got as some kind of like higher commitment or elevated status of the relationship. Girl, he never has to tell anybody what that tattoo means. He can make up a whole new meaning for it. She said, Victoria said he got me tattooed on him. No, that is a nondescript tattoo that he can tell anybody that it means anything. And I don't understand why they're both taking it that way.
Well, because that's what she wants it to mean, right? That's what she wants it to mean. And unfortunately, and hers is so, you guys, when I saw it again on her thigh, it is too big. Victoria, it's too big. And even when she explained to Amber where he got his on the back of his thigh, yeah, amongst a bunch of other tattoos that could just be mashed up. Yours is front and center on your thigh. Oh.
Well, at least because I was going to ask you, I was going to text you actually and be like, am I not understanding something about this tattoo?
Yeah. Are you not understanding about what?
I was going to text you and say, am I not understanding something about this tattoo?
Yeah, no, you're dead on. Dead on. Dead on. That is not him professing his love to you. Okay, Victoria? So just settle down. But yeah, Amber does compare her relationships with Glenn and Kevon to Darren and Victoria. And she is a little bit jealous that Glenn texts Victoria every day. And wait, did I say that right?
Darren texts Victoria.
Darren texts Victoria every day. She's also upset with Kevon because Glenn is in constant contact with her, wants to be her number one, wants to know, like, are you dating anyone else? Like, should I come get you? All of this stuff. And she just feels super overwhelmed because she only has 1 more week left and she doesn't know like where she stands with either of them. And so she starts crying, and I thought that was super sad.
That was sad. I want Amber to be loved.
Me too, because she is very lovable. Last and certainly not least, Monica. Oh, Monica. Monica, you came out the gate as my favorite, but you are becoming more and more problematic, in my opinion. I think that you just need to date more.
Girl, because ain't no way you need to be impressed by being over some boy's house.
That and like, what's up with Bernardo? So he kissed you on the first date and you're in love with him, and now you can't see anything else outside of that? Like, I am just like confused by her whole situation. Like, she is acting like these are both her long-term boyfriends and she's having a hard time breaking it off with one of them. You've been on like 1 date and then 2 dates.
Right. And the date with Bernardo, remind me, they did some thing at the gym with 2 of his friends and then they went to dinner.
Well, not even dinner. They did the gym thing with 2 of his friends, and then they went to her hotel bar. And they made out at her hotel door. And now she's in love.
You're in Brazil, the home of fabulous things to do on dates. Please stop being impressed by these peanuts.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. So she's going on her second date with Bernardo. Oh, excuse me. She's going on her second date with Bruno. And the second date is at his house. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but I'm going to tell you, you know how I said I know exactly what I want? What you're not about to do on the second date is invite me over to your house. That's what you're not going to do. I need you to plan dates. And I shouldn't be coming over for dinner to your house until like date 9 or 10. Like, I'm just not into it. Because I think that that's a lack of effort. Yeah, it's great that you cook and all of the things, but I also know that that is a Netflix and chill move. And even him saying, "Well, you're leaving already," because I cooked for you, so why don't you just stay over and like stay over? Is basically what he was trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not into it. I don't think that was like the big show of love that Monica thought it was. But okay, so she's gonna go to his house. He's gonna cook dinner. She tries to say, "Oh, it's because we're gonna get to know each other at a deeper level because he's gonna be in his own environment." You guys have to be asked. Don't let any fool tell you that's what they want you to believe. It's a second. You only went on one date. Okay. True crime Linda is going to tell you don't go to some fool's house on a second date because you don't know that fool. You may not come home. Second of all, that's lazy. Let them plan the date. You are the prize. 3, okay, you may not actually even like him. The first date, both representatives are showing up. Let's see what he does on a second date outside of rollerblading. Did you guys go to a restaurant? How does he treat the server? Did you guys go back to your bar like you like to? How did he treat the door guy? Like, going back to his house is not the flex that you think it is. So anyway, she goes to the house. He's already started cooking. He's got wine. They kiss some more. He, in my opinion, is doing a little bit more love bombing. I get you like her a lot, but y'all also have only been on one date. But he thinks she's incredible, beautiful, perfect. He wants to spend more time with her. And she's like, yeah, this is a nice date. But the chemistry was hotter with Bernardo. Ah, what, girl? What? They bond over. Pardon?
So Monica's in heat. Monica's just in heat.
We've already talked about this. Monica needs to go on like 20 more dates. She needs to be touched. Abby talked about some type of salt scrub massage thing that you should go on.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're in Monica's situation, go ahead and watch her last episode and take Abby up on her advice.
Mm-hmm.
They bond over, both coming from nothing, her being a single mom, taking 8 years to get her undergrad degree, him building a business with his mom and his sister over many years. But he still feels like he's a simple guy. He just has more stuff. She's very touchy with him. She was like kissing his hand, which I was like, what's happening right now? Why are you kissing his hand? The emperor. It was weird to me, but I might be missing something. If you guys know what that's about, let me know. She's touching him. She's touching his lips. They're making out. They're making out some more. Then they're dancing. And when I tell you, like I just told you, that this is the Netflix and chill version in Brazil, that's what's happening here. Instead of Netflix, it's dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And she jumps on him, and they're all lovey, cuddly, blah, blah, blah. And had the cameras not been there, promise you, she would have stayed over. Promise you.
Probably.
And I don't even know if she didn't circle back. Because what I'm saying is that is a false sense of like, hey, we're connected after 2 dates, and it's all about you. So she feels like it was a great date, but she's still thinking of Bernardo. She's torn. She doesn't know what she wants to do. What are your thoughts, Abby, on Bernardo or Bruno?
I want her matchmaker to go ahead and introduce a third person so that Monica can see that she's literally not like she's not falling in love with each one of these people. Like, you're not even really getting to know them. Just sharing your story with somebody is not getting to know them. So, but I do want to shout her out on one thing. Monica said on the show, she said that it took 8 years to get her bachelor's. But if you are following her new Instagram account, she said that it was actually way more than 8 years, that sometimes she was taking just one class at a time and just like scraping by. So good for you for being your own motivation to get through that. Like, you're clearly a self-propelled, strong-willed person, and you deserve someone to be your partner who is going to appreciate all of you and get to know you, not someone who's trying to immediately take you to Pound Town.
And I also, and I agree with that, you know, bravo, Monica, because not everyone would have done the long haul and just continued to play that out. But the other thing, you guys and women specifically, our family specifically, is listen, I get sometimes you're out of the dating field and any little bit of attention feels like great for you and it should be good for your ego and all of that stuff. But just know that you deserve everything that your heart desires. And you don't have to settle for anything that's less than that. And a little bit, because listen, you guys, dating in 2025 is trash. It's trash. You have to take off the rose-colored glasses where everyone is like bigging you up, or you're so beautiful, you're this and you're that, and you got to wade through the nonsense to get to the real stuff. And it's okay to do that because there's so many disgenuine people out there that it's okay to date. You know what dating is? You're dating multiple people until you find that person. And this person is going to love bomb you. And this person is going to gaslight you. And this person is going to breadcrumb you. And I just heard another one yesterday. This one is good. Banksy you. Banksy's was new to me.
I've never heard that.
Oh, listen, girl. I'm all into all.
I'm going to search it so I can find out what that means.
Banksy you. And so what I'm saying, it's okay. But also don't take everything so to heart. Like, she's so worried that she's going to hurt Bruno's feelings or Bernardo's feelings. I don't see Bernardo asking you to come see him. I don't see any grand gestures by Bernardo. And even Bruno, I think he's lovely. But his second date was come to my house. Go and date and enjoy yourself. And don't
see Brazil.
Don't be too impressed by the bare minimum, you guys, because some of it is bare minimum, but because you've been out of the game for so long, you don't know that it's the bare minimum.
Yeah, it's bare minimum. That's very bare minimum. He was going to cook and eat himself. All he did was invite you along to the activity he was already doing.
So funny.
Shout out Dr. Megan. Dr. Megan was also a teen mom and worked all the way up to earning her doctorate degree. That's
Love
right.
it.
Right, Dr.
Love
Megan.
It. Yay, Dr. Megan. Yay. All right, you guys, that's the episode. And, you know, we're caught up. And I'm mad about it because I want to know what's going to happen next. But that will be on Sunday. And until then, you guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. TMW Online. We're doing big things, you guys. Did you know that Drake has a mask that's for sale? And that's all I'm going to say. But if you're not following TMW_online on Instagram, you are missing out on all the tea. And we're popping out all the tea over there. So if you love all things social media, all things entertainment, all things music, movies, all the stuff, make sure that you tell a friend and you come on over because it's a good time. Until Monday, bye, guys.
TTFN. Bye-bye.
Dr. Megan. Love y'all, ladies. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Meg. You have a nickname now.
Bye, guys.